Hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation on Proposals 5.1 and 5.2 of the BWF Council to the AGM. My name is Thomas Delay, and I'm Head of Legal and Governance for the Badminton World Federation. Let's start with the first proposal on voting strength criteria. But first, let's have a background. Let's have a look at the background for this. As you'll see here on this picture, there are individuals holding a card with 1 vote, and some others are holding a card with 5 votes. Why is that, and how do we reach that number? This works through a calculation made during the assessment period. We look, to determine the number of votes, we look at 5 criteria that are measured during the assessment period. The assessment period is a period of 4 years. The next one will start in October 2020, and this proposal is in relation to the next assessment period, so from 2020 to 2024. As a principle, more participation means more votes. So how do you get more votes? I invite you to look at Article 15.20 of the BWF Constitution. But I'll give you a brief summary. The first vote you get for being a BWF member. You can get an additional vote by having more than 10,000 players in your club, in your member association. You will get an extra vote by participating in international tournaments, and this is what we will talk about today. You have 1 extra vote by having elite level players, meaning they are in the top players on the world ranking. Finally, you get 1 additional vote for hosting elite level tournaments. So looking now at participation in international tournaments. As you will see, you get 1 additional vote if you participate in 7 out of 12 events during the assessment period of 4 years. And those events are the Sudirman Cup, the Individual Continental Championships, the World Championships, the Olympic Games, and the World Junior Team Championships. Today, the proposal is about the Sudirman Cup and its 2 events. Now, the Sudirman Cup has changed format over the past 3 years. Before 2019, it used to have an open format, which meant that 27, 35 teams participated. However, starting 2021, there will be qualification requirements, which means that only 16 teams can participate. For us, this means that the idea of having the Sudirman Cup is not relevant anymore. The Sudirman Cup is now a closed tournament rather than an open one. So for us to keep it in the list of criteria in the Article 15.20 would be too difficult for most member associations to respect. And for this reason, our suggestion would be to remove it from the list. This would mean that to get an extra vote, a member association would need to participate in 6 out of 10 events during the 4-year assessment period. 4 of these events would remain the same. However, the Sudirman Cup would be removed. Going now to Proposal 5.2, which has 3 sub-proposals. The first one is about the Para-Badminton Athlete Commission Chair, and the proposal is to include that person as a full-time BWF Council member. As of today, the BWF Council has 27 members. This would mean an increase to 28. Why should we include that person? Well, first, we would like to mention this was actually a suggestion made by one member association back 2 years ago during the AGM. For us, it would mean increase the athlete representation on the BWF Council, but also increase the presence of para-badminton on Council. Looking now at Proposal 5.2b on term limits for the President. The proposal would be to introduce a term limit for the BWF President 4 terms, starting from the 2021 elections. This here was an act of balance. So on one side, good governance suggests that there should be term limits for the top leadership of an organization. Why? This is because this allows for change. So suppose someone has been in power for 40 years. Well, it's possible this person has done many things over these 40 years. Adding a different person can bring a new critical eye on these 40 years and allow for example, wrongdoing to be discovered. Now, on the other side, why 4 years and why not 2 years, for example? We thought that having a long enough duration would allow the president to incorporate his or her vision to the BWF. There's also the idea of representing badminton on the world stage. So having 4 terms, for example, would allow a president to reach potentially membership of the International Olympic Committee, which is not something that would be possible, or which is something that would be very difficult to achieve within 2 terms. Now we've been asked, the term limits will start from 2021, but the president already has served 2 terms, so why shouldn't those be taken into account? There are 2 main reasons for this. The first one is that good governance, also good legal governance, suggests that rules should only have an application for the future, not for the past, so they shouldn't have a retroactive effect. The president has been elected twice so far without applicable term limits, so he got elected under certain conditions, and we deemed that it would be unfair to add new conditions for something that happened 3 years and 7 years ago. To go on now to proposal 5.2 on election protocols. The proposal would be to hold elections by secret ballot and to allow for elections by acclamation when there is only 1 candidate. Now, this has been a long-term practice at the BWF, and the reason for this would simply be, the reason for the proposal would be to have clear rules rather than rely on practice and on the opinion of the chair on how the election should be carried out. Now, I hope this presentation was useful to you. If you're interested, there will be 3 other videos, and the next one is on proposal 5.3 on judicial procedures. Thank you.